Now, when I go camping, I like to bring a lot of gear. I'll bring a lantern and bulbs and maybe another lantern. But another thing I'll definitely bring is a speaker. Now, what if my speaker was a lantern? Well, wonder no more. Here we have the Olantern Music. First off, it is USB rechargeable. There's a USB-C input as well as a USB-C output, 11,200 milliamp hours of battery, and it even has a USB Type A port on the back for charging your devices while you're at camp. This thing sits really nicely on the picnic table. You can charge up to 2 phones with it while it's doing its thing, playing music and lighting up your space. Pretty cool feature to have in a camping accessory. Now let's talk about brightness modes, and in order to do that, how about we black things out a little bit using the remote switch from my Olight Audience, which I've got rigged up to a tree there. Now, of course, there are 2 different lighting modes. There is these warm white filaments. This is low mode. It'll run for about 110 hours. You can turn the dial on top of the lantern. It'll run at high mode in the orange white filaments for about 13 hours on a full charge, so pretty good performance. This lights up essentially your whole picnic table, and if you just give it another click or 2, it'll go into white light mode. Now this is the low setting on white light mode. It's this really lovely top-down look. It's great for playing cards or eating dinner on the picnic table. It will run in this brightness setting for about 17 hours. And on a full charge, it will go all the way up to about 300 lumens, and it'll run at 300 lumens for the first 20 minutes. So in terms of sustained output, this right here is a pretty good example of what that's going to look like. Again, great for playing cards, great for doing all sorts of stuff that you might need to do on your picnic table. All right, now another cool thing that this one will do is, of course, Bluetooth speaker mode. So there's a nice little Bluetooth button here. If you wow. Now it looks like my lovely spot on the picnic table outside the cabin is getting a little bit rained out, so we'll see you in another location right away. Another really cool feature that you can look forward to on the Olantern Music is if you buy a second one, or if you've got a friend that's cool enough to bring theirs to the bonfire, all you got to do is press and hold this top button, and it will sync up both of your Olanterns as a left-right stereo pair. It'll also sync up the dancing light show as well. So with 2 of these around the campfire, all set together, it's an absolute vibe right out of the box. Now, another thing to consider is using that same technology, you can pair up to 100 of these Olanterns together. So if we ever have a Oak Lake Canada meetup, bring your Olantern Music, we'll sync them all together and have an absolute party. Now the soundtrack for the rest of the video will be a Canadian band out of Toronto called July Talk, and a few of their tracks off their latest album, with some thunderstorm in the background, just to give you an idea of the kind of ambiance the Olantern Music will set. Now let's talk about the Bluetooth speaker quality. First off, when it comes to the tech that's involved, it's cutting-edge Bluetooth technology. It's got all the right codecs, and it's got great range. So the Bluetooth technology itself is very well implemented. Now, when it comes to sound quality, I am a bit of a snob, and I always have been, and I'm not too ashamed to say so. This speaker does have good qualities, and it has some compromises. So, in all honesty, the volume of the speaker is excellent. It gets very loud, perfect for the outdoors. And at those full volumes, it is still very crisp. It doesn't get any compression at full volume. Again, great quality for an outdoor speaker. Now, on the flip side, what are some of the compromises? Well, there aren't many, but I do have to say that the bass response is a little bit lacking compared to other Bluetooth speakers at this price point in this size. Now, consider that this is more than just a Bluetooth speaker. You want to charge your phone, you want to blast your tunes, and you want to crank up the light. So if you're doing all 3, how's the runtime? Well, the good news is it will do everything you ask of it at an evening of camp. You can crank the lights up, you can charge a couple of phones, maybe not to 100%, but enough to get you back to your tent. And you can have the music playing at a nice articulate volume. Again, all these things all together with that 1100 milliamp hour battery, it'll do all these things in an evening of camping. And the next morning, maybe you want to top it off with using that fast charging capability so that you have your lantern ready to go for the next evening. And that's been my honest experience with the Olantern music. I hope you buy one or a bundle of two during the September OFans Day event on olatestore.ca. Check it out.